Hello, welcome back. Well, it's been a while since I've done a reading vlog, and now hopefully they'll be more enjoyable now that the sound quality's better because I got a new phone. So today we're going to be starting a romance reading vlog. So if you've been around my channel for a time, you know that while I do read quite a bit of romance, I'm not the biggest fan of the genre. Yeah, it's hard to say why. Yeah, I guess I think part of it is that it seems like it doesn't come as easily for me to have like book boyfriends, I guess. I mean, I didn't think it was even possible for me to fall for a fictional man until I saw Zootopia 2. So yes, and usually around the times when I like a romance book, it's usually been for reasons other than the romance. I think the only times I've really enjoyed the romance is when it's been a YA romance or a She Falls First. Yeah, and even then there's not book boyfriends there. So yeah, I guess we'll see how this goes. Although there have been times where I've enjoyed some romances a bit more lately, so we'll see how this goes. So oh yeah, one thing I also wanted to say, so one thing I'm trying to base my channel more on, more obscure books. So the first two books I plan on reading for this video are more obscure, but then the last two are more well known, at least in the Christian community. It's mainly Christian fiction. So yeah. So the first book I'm going to read for this video is Now and Then and Always by Melissa Tagg. So I feel like when it comes to like current Christian fiction authors, I feel like Melissa Tagg doesn't get talked about as much. She doesn't get talked about as much as like Nicole Deese, and would Tammiel Gray count? Apparently she's not writing anymore. And then I guess like would Tony Shiloh be like there's always other people come up, but Melissa Tagg doesn't really get talked about. And when people do talk about her, they mainly talk about her book Autumn by the Sea, which I still might read that one eventually, but I wanted to start with this one, and I feel like this one doesn't get talked about even when they do talk about Melissa Tagg. So yeah, we'll see. And I guess one other thing for this video is that lately I've been trying to go for at least an hour before bed with no screen time, so that's usually when I do most of my reading for the day. So I guess I'll do some reading now. I guess I might have to go back to actually using my reading journal to write notes on what I'm reading so that I can relay to the vlog in the morning. So yeah, that's all. Let's get into it. Godhood. So I made it to chapter 2. And I'm liking it so far. I like the writing and stuff. Although with the writing, sometimes I get so caught up in the writing that I forget to picture what's going on. And with like some of the things mentioned throughout the book, it's kind of reminding me of Real Not Perfect, with like little things mentioned, although these things I don't know if I care about that much. And with some of the things mentioned going on, I'm curious to find out what's going on with all that. So yeah. Hello, it's the next day. I look somewhat more presentable. So last night I got to chapter 5, and then I read part of chapter 5 before I went to bed. So let me pull out my notes from, it's in my little reading journal. Oh yeah, this is it. The only way I know is because it's got a thing that says reading journal. So what we've got here, we're finding out a bit more about things that are mentioned, and it seems like with both of our main characters that there's been some trauma. With the guy, we know kind of what that trauma has been. Though for the girl, it's not been confirmed yet, so I don't want to say. I have some theories about what it could be, but it looks like it's going to be revealed later in the book, so it'd probably be spoilers to say. Yes, and so we've got in the parts that I've read, our two main characters have met finally, so we'll see. Well, of course, because it's a romance book, there's going to be something there, but we'll see how that goes. And also, for one chapter, we got an unexpected POV, or a POV from someone I did not expect to get. So we'll see how that ties into everything. So, right, made it to chapter 8. Thoughts now. I feel like this would be a good book for those who like HGTV, considering the plot that's in motion now. And there's also been a few Anne of Green Gables references, so that's interesting. One thing I'm not loving so far is that there's a part that made it seem like this is giving Hallmark vibes, but I guess we'll see. Alright, I didn't get that much farther into Now and Then and Always last night, but I do have a bit more thoughts. First of all, clarifying what I meant by like the Hallmark thing that feels Hallmark. It just has some of the same vibes, like small town. They're teaming up to renovate this rundown B&B and like all the things. So, and I forgot to say, because the rundown B&B with this rugged man that wears flannels and all that stuff. So that is kind of that vibe. But yeah, it's hard because like the writing is good, or I guess I like the writing at times. Well, I guess it's all good, but there's sentences there I'm like, ooh, that was good. And the dialogue is good for the most part. So yeah, there's that. So I guess it could be said that this has Hallmark vibes, but it's done well, I guess I would say. So yeah, there's that. The thing happens, it always seems to happen when reading romance books, is when the female main character meets, and it seems like there's going to be a friendship, or there is a friendship between another female character. I'm like, oh, I want to read more about that than about whatever she has going on with this man. Like, and it's like, and because I know it's a romance book, I know that at the very least, that relationship is not going to be focused on as much as it is the main romance. But I guess this is why I like the status updates series, because it's all about the female friendship. So, yeah, there's that. So, woke up a little earlier today because I'd like to finish this tomorrow. So, and I'm only, let's see, how far am I in? I'm 115 pages in, and this book is 336 pages. That'd be amazing if I actually remember the exact number. So yeah, I've still got a good amount of ways to go, and I'd like to make considerable progress in this today, so I don't have to, so I can just finish it tomorrow and all that things. So yeah, so let's start reading. I'm halfway through now, and we're getting a bit more of Mara and Janessa's friendship than I expected, so that's nice. But other than that, not much else to report. So I made it to chapter 18. I've got less than 100 pages left of this, so I'll probably read a bit more tonight, and then I probably can finish it tomorrow. There's parts that feel almost like thriller-ish, with like the mystery going on, so that's interesting. Not what you'd expect from a romance book, but here we are. Alright, it is the next day. I didn't have time to film some of my thoughts from last night, but today I finished Now and Then and Always. It was good. I'll I'll give this 3.5 stars, which, of course, I feel like after I read this, 3.5 stars is not a bad rating. At least it's not, it depends on who it's coming from, but for me, it's not a bad rating. So, yeah, and I think I've said in other videos, I want to be more picky with my 4 stars. I don't want to be just giving them out to books I did like. So while I'd say this book is worthy of 4 stars, I didn't really like it. I just liked it. So, yeah, there's that. So yeah, solid book, like all these things. Even though I said something about Hallmark, like it's not like cringy or anything. The ending, I'm happy with how things wrapped up in the ending. Yeah, and it's clean, just kisses and no language, so there's that. Yeah, I don't know what else to say for my final thoughts. I'm hoping to also talk about the books in this video in a recent read, but I haven't really, well, I guess I did that once at the beginning, but I didn't do that with my swapping screen time and 1 book a day challenges, so it's been a while, but hopefully I can still do this. And also, because I got used to doing reading vlogs with multiple books, then I remember once early last year when I tried to do reading vlogs each for 1 book, the videos were only like about 4 minutes each. So, and I looked at, because I'm editing this video out, like, with this book, it's already like close to 10 minutes just for this book. So, yeah. So now we are moving on to our next book, and the next book I'm going to be reading in this video is Still the Song by Nicole Feller. This book has been staring at me from its place on the shelf for probably since I've got this book. Like, it's like calling, like, read me. Yeah, because I mean, look at that cover, and this is even all I've been seeing, but still that. Although for my birthday I got one of Nicole Feller's other book, Paper Walls, and now that book is staring at me too. Which I won't be reading that book until much later this year. So yeah, so this one, I think this book is following the romance of some characters that we saw in Feels Like Fire, but this book came out before that, so I'm assuming you're supposed to read this one first, but I guess I'm reading it after, because, So it seems like this is Nicole Feller's first book, because this was published in 2014. Now, with that publishing date, I was a little worried about potential content, because, yeah, I guess back then there wasn't as much talk about concerns for spicy content, but, I mean, Nicole Feller is, like, advertising herself as, like, a closed-door author, so I figured if one of her books wasn't that, then she'd let us know, so I think this should be fine, but other than that, let's get into it. Alright, I made it to chapter 3. So, sex has been mentioned a few times. Thankfully not any details, but that's not the best look considering what I was talking about earlier. And there's also been a few instances, a few bad words said, but I mean, I don't remember it, but I'm pretty sure there was language in the other Nicole Feller book I've read, so that's not the most unexpected, but yeah. I forgot to mention, it looks like from this, I guess this didn't click when I read the synopsis, it seems like this is a second chance romance, which I don't think I've read before, so that should be interesting. Alright, so I didn't get that much farther into Still a Song last night because at the time I was meant to be reading, I just allowed my brain to brain about future video, so didn't get much more progress in on this, so yeah. Alright, so I did film something yesterday. Yeah, but not much. I got distracted again. Suddenly got an idea for another writing project. Like 17th million time trying to write a book. So, yeah, there's that. But yesterday I did get a little over 100 pages in, so that's pretty good. But, and I would like to ideally finish this Monday, and it's Saturday now. I would like to finish it Monday, but I guess I wouldn't mind if I finished Tuesday. So yeah, there's that. It's interesting because I felt like in like the first, from what I've read so far, it feels like a lot still has happened. So I'm kind of like, what's going to happen in the rest of the book? I hope Gracie doesn't die. I mean, I know I've been wanting a book that'll make me cry, but I don't want it to be this book that makes me cry. Anyways, let's get into it. Let's read for the day. Alright, made it to chapter 10. I like the reference to Sleeping at Last. I guess this was published in 2014. It seems like the story takes place around 2013 or something, so I guess he was just starting back then. I don't know. So, but yeah. Well, I'm over halfway through now. That's good progress, and I think this is one of the few adult romances where I've actually enjoyed the romance. Maybe because they were together in high school and like there's never been anyone else for them. It's just, I don't know, it's so precious. So yeah, things are getting interesting. There's a bit of drama with some of the side characters, so it's interesting. I'm interested to see how that's gonna play out, but yeah. Alright, so it's Monday now. There hasn't been a good time to mention this earlier, but I don't really read on Sundays. It started off as an unintentional thing where it's like I couldn't be bothered to read, but now I just don't read on Sundays. So yeah, I've gotten to page 252. So I'm about calculated it when it was a bit earlier that it seems like I'm about 80% through this book, so that's pretty good. Alright, one thing that I haven't commented on with this yet is that there is kind of like faith content with this, like mentions of God and like I think even of like God working through things and stuff, which I mean I think Nicole Feller is a Christian, but I didn't know that also came through in her books. Like I remember like in Feels Like Fire, I don't remember there being any faith content, but in this there is. And so I guess this far into the book is a pretty good time to make a rating prediction. When last I thought about it, I was like, okay, this is for sure going to be solid 4 stars. But then it was on a walk and I was thinking, no, it could be higher. It could be 4.5 or even 5 stars. So, because there's not much that I can think of that I don't absolutely love about this. So, yeah, there's that. But here's the thing, though. It's still, I guess it's just anxiety cannot be reasoned with, because I'm still worried there might be some content, or that even if there is a closed door scene, I'll feel the urge to skip it, which, like, there have been times where I have allowed myself to not skip. Like, I remember, like, reading Redeeming Love, I allowed myself to read those parts because it's like, oh, well, I guess I gotta comment on this, and I don't regret that I did read those parts, because it wasn't that bad, but like it's just, I just don't know. I mean I should know, like I think, oh, there wasn't conversation about spicy content in 2014, but I don't think there was also really that much conversation about it in 2019 with Feels Like Fire. So yeah, it's like I gotta keep reading to find out, but I wish I could just know. So yeah, so let you know, probably should be able to finish it today. So, yeah. I finished it. Oh. Alright, so this was so good. I love so many of the characters in this and so many about it. Yeah, I think I will give this 4.5 stars, and I'm happy to report there was nothing to skip, not even any closed door scenes. This was so grateful for that. Yes, I love so much about this. I enjoyed the relationship, Jonah and Hannah. I love Gracie. I think Nathan was somewhat interesting, and then what little we saw of Lily and all these things, and there's all that so much. This is so good. I like this even better than Feels Like Fire. And this is Nicole Feller's first book. And I remember I saw a post that Nicole had made about this book, and she was saying that the one thing she regrets about writing this book is that it wasn't in first person. And while I do in general prefer first person, I think it being third person worked really well in here, because I think if it had been first person, then we would have missed out on following some characters at times, which I liked getting that. Although I used to be annoyed the thing of the third person of jumping around to all these different characters, and I liked how it worked in here. So yes, ooh, so good. And while I am very sad that this book is over now, it is time to move on to the next book for this video, and that is Love and a Little White Lie by Tammy L. Gray. So yeah, getting into more of the well-known books, or at least in the Christian bookish space, well-known. So yeah, I talked about this one in my anticipated reads, because I guess I didn't know it was that popular when I first heard about it, and the plot sounded genuinely interesting. Not sure how I'm gonna like this. I mean, of course I've heard I saw that one quote from it that was like, oh, is there gonna be questionable faith content? But then also another thing that I've heard a little more recently is that apparently there's a love triangle in this. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about love triangles, but like, yes, I've heard not great things, but I guess from what I've heard, I mean, I don't know, but before I forget to mention, this is another physical book. After I have finished this, I will have read 7 physical books in a row. I don't think that's happened since starting my channel. I mean, obviously before then, I used to only read physical books, but since starting my channel with reading some ebooks, now 7 physical books in a row, that's something to note. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, I read chapter 1. It's somewhat interesting so far. Yeah, nothing else. Like, I feel like the portrayal of someone who doesn't believe in God is somewhat more realistic than other portrayals, but so yeah. All right, I didn't film anything yesterday. I made it to page 151 in Love and a Little White Lie. I feel like it's hard to film thoughts because I've been reading and I haven't had much thoughts about what I've been reading. Lately, it just seems like I'm kind of like, what's going on? Like, I know what's going on, but I don't know why what's going on is going on. So yeah, probably finish this today since I have a lot of time to do that. So yeah, I made it to chapter 27. First I thought, oh, maybe I won't be able to finish it, but I guess I will. And I I guess I haven't confirmed what the love triangle is, but I think I know, and I'm worried it's not gonna turn out the way I want it to, but I don't know if the way I want it to is the best way, so... I made it to chapter 35. Oh my gosh, I didn't expect that this book would make me want to cry. Just the one part with these characters describing his dead loved one is just... if I try to read it, I'm sure I will cry. That's... Ooh. Finished. I don't... So I guess it didn't quite end the way I thought I wanted it to, but I think it still ended well. Yeah, I guess 3.5 again. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say other than that. Not sure which quote it was that I saw that I was not sure about. There actually isn't as much faith content in this as I was expecting. That's interesting. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say. Alright, moving on to the next and last book for this video, which is Authentically Izzy by Pepper Basham. So, yeah, this one sounded interesting. It's kind of an epistolary, and I say kind of because apparently there's also just some regular book parts, but yeah, mainly told through like text messages and emails and stuff like that, so that should be interesting. And one thing, I didn't quite look for content before adding this one to my DVR, but I did when I saw on Libby, which is where I'm going to be reading this, that they described it as low spice, and I'm like, wait a minute. So I went to Goodreads, and thankfully Lindsay had posted a full content review, because I remember reading it, because I was like, no, I don't want low spice, I want no spice. So it seems like it is more no spice. I don't know why they even called it low spice. I guess we'll see. Alright, it's been a few days since I last filmed anything. It's been a busy few days, I just haven't been bothered to film, and I haven't gotten that far into Authentically Izzy. I think I was I always try to keep the thing of always posting on Tuesdays, but I don't know if I'm gonna finish what I want to read by this next Tuesday. And it wasn't originally, when this comes out, I didn't intend for this vlog to come out as early, but then when I thought, I could get it this early, then I was wanting to do it, but that was kind of pressure. And I'm reading the longest book, the longest book in this video, and I'm trying to get it all, and then I haven't read that much, so I kind of want to take the pressure off and just finish and put this video out when I can, but yeah, so again, that was a little bit of a tangent. Authentically Izzy, all I have to say about it right now is this is just very different from what I'm used to reading. Yeah, it's not even necessarily in the epistolary style, which that is very different, but also it could tell the characters are very nerdy and referencing all these things. I know a lot of the things, but some of the things I haven't read or seen what all they're talking about. So yeah. Alright, I finished part 1 of Authentically Izzy. I feel like my comments right now are mainly related to the characters that we're talking about. I like Luke. I think his book is the 3rd book in the series, so looking forward to that one if I ever get around to it. Obviously, as I'm supposed to, I don't care for Josephine. Is she supposed to be Aunt March coded, or is that just me? And then Penelope, which I think the second book's gonna be about her. It's like I feel like very mixed feelings on Penelope, because sometimes I like her, and sometimes the things she says I'm like, So yeah, the rest of the book should be interesting. It's the next day. I'm almost done with it, but it's taken a bit of a turn, and I don't know how it's all gonna work out in the last 2 chapters. Yeah. Alright, I finished it. I think I'll give it a 3.5, which I was already thinking. Maybe 3.5 rounded down. Yeah, because I don't know if I cared for this as much as the other 3.5s in this video. So, yeah, not really sure what else to say. Not sure. I mean, I kind of want to continue the series, if nothing else, than to read Luke's book, but yeah, I guess we'll see. So that is the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the better sound quality than in some of my previous vlogs. So, yeah, that is all. Goodbye!